Revelation chapters 2 and 3 deal with 7 churches, 7 letters that were directly dictated to John by Jesus Christ himself. And these 7 letters are to 7 chosen churches, and they're called the 7 churches of Asia. And I brought up the question, why did Jesus choose these 7 churches? There were hundreds of churches existing in that time. There were more than 7. So why did he pick these 7? And why are they in the order that they're in? Well, I brought out last time, it took students of prophecy a long time to look back over church history to see that these churches were chosen and put in the order they're in because the characteristics of each one of these churches can be seen as the dominant characteristics of the stages of church history. Now, they were 7 literal churches, and so the message to each one of these churches was actually real into a real church. So we can get benefit personally and as individual churches from studying what their problems were, what Jesus said the answer was, and so forth. And so they have application to that, but they also have a prophetic application. And so as we go through, I want to point out what each stage of history these churches indicate. Now, there's a divine format that's used for each one of these letters from Jesus to these churches. First, there is the addressee, and we read, for instance, to the angel of the church in Ephesus, write. And I brought out the fact that in the Greek, the word angelos can either mean an angel in the traditional sense, or it can mean what the Greek word basically means, which is messenger. And in this case, each time it should be to the messenger of the church of Ephesus, write. And this is really writing to the one who would be the preacher of that church, or the leadership of that church. And we find here in the church of Ephesus, let's read, it says, the one who holds the 7 stars in his right hand, the one who walks among the 7 golden lampstands, says this. Each one of these letters gives a description of certain attributes of Jesus. And you'll find that each time these attributes are used in the introduction, it applies to the answer the church needs, or it applies to a message that they need from him that is a warning. So when he says to the one who holds the 7 stars in his right hand, the 7 stars in Revelation chapter 1, verse 20 and 21, are the messengers of the church. So he says he holds the leader of these churches in his right hand. He reminds them of it. And it says he walks among the 7 lampstands. And it's explained that this is a symbol of the church. So it shows that he is intimately circulating constantly among the local churches. That's why we don't need a hierarchy. Jesus himself is supposed to be the leader, not some man-made hierarchy. Church has gotten in trouble every time that's happened, because then all Satan has to do is wipe out subject the hierarchy, trick them, and then they've got control of the whole church. So anyway, he talks about this, and
here we are, back at the creek, back at the river. More swimming lessons, Athena.
Hey, somebody get their...
Oh. Huh? I wonder why they did that. There was a nice little dam right there. Made a nice little pool. Water's still flowing good. There she goes. I don't know, somebody didn't like it. Probably the Rangers. Come down here and messing things up. Only been coming here all my life. Nobody came down here before and messed things up. Athena, come on.
A little more moss.
Yeah, it's water's warmer. Moss is growing. All right, swim time, Athena. At least she's not afraid like she used to be.
Right? Yeah.
Where'd that come from? What is it, an apple? Somebody left their apple here. Get the apple. Bobbing for apples. Tina's bobbing for apples. All right, let's go. Huh? We're going. We're leaving. All right, let me get the leash. Ranger just kicked us out of here. You're not allowed to come down here anymore. Pretty ridiculous. Ranger came and ran. Bring the leash over here, please. No, I don't want her. Yeah, I guess we're not allowed to come down here anymore. Ranger just came and kicked us out of here. Oh, we can't go. We can't be in the water. The dogs can't. No playing in the water, Athena.
That is not necessarily worship in its simplest definition. Loving.
You're swimming. She's swimming. Tina's swimming. You're all by yourself. I guess we can be here because this is where the horses cross. We'll see if the ranger comes and sights us. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. right, let's go. All right, let's get out of here. Or the ranger comes back and ticks me off. It's like, who do these people think they are? I mean, seriously. All right, one last time. And he didn't even have his COVID-19 mask on. Well, what about the other end? Well, maybe they got that all blocked off too.
No, because that's a trail right there.
Oh, all right. Let's get out of here.
Hey, yeah, that's a lot of people going up there. I don't know.
Look at this.
I'm glad you ate
I just got this smoker.
Now,
Works pretty good.
it. He says,
Just seasoned it. It's great.
now in verse 7,
But look what she did.
he
look
who
at the
has an
briquettes.
ear, let him
I
hear.
mean, she was just out
what
here
the
for a little
Spirit
bit by
says
herself.
to the
She tore up
churches.
all the briquettes. They got a
him
couple
who
Blackstone
overcomes-
grills too. They're nice.
I will grant to eat of the
Keep
tree
it-
of
look.
life, which is in the paradise of
Look,
God.
look what she did.
Now that's in each one too. There is addresses.
Look what she did.
You're not. No, you're not coming in.
Attributes of Christ, commendation.
There you go. Give her some ice time.
analysis,
Ice time!
and then there's a promise.
Stop!
Each one has.
Don't hit her foot.
Turn back to the book again, 1 John, chapter 5. This is the love of
Oh my
God.
gosh.
Got a new refrigerator, so now we have to make her ice.
There we go. Hold on, wait.
For
She doesn't deserve ice time. Look at the mess she made.
Okay, there you go. You're nice.
All right, got to clean up some charcoal, I guess.
our faith.
I made some stuff last night, and I put a little bit of the fat in her food, so she probably smelt the charcoal in the food. Figured she was going to find some more in that bag there, I think. I don't know. She's a problem dog, she is.
They made it sound like the overcome.
What are you doing there, Tita? I got to clean up your mess. All right.
Lord, and he's the Son of God. And our faith is what overcomes the world. It's our faith that we belong to him. And he says, this is the one who has, past tense, already overcome the world, even he who believes that Jesus is the Son of God. So if you are a believer in Jesus Christ, you've already overcome the world. He just wants you to work it out practically. That doesn't determine whether you're going to heaven or not, but he wants you to do that, okay? All right, now let's go back to chapter 2. Now, looking at this from a standpoint of what period of history would this best characterize, most theologians agree that have studied this carefully, that this represented the period from AD 33 to 100. That was the time when the church was still well taught. They still had first generation people, and it was well taught, and the church spread. And there began to set in that period of time. They lost their first love. They got so involved in spreading the gospel and learning the word and rebuking the false and so forth, that they kind of lost their compass of their first love. Okay? All right, then we go to the next one, and it says, to the angel of the church in Smyrna, write. Now, it's interesting. This is the only one in this group. No, I'll take it back. This is one of two. There are two of the churches that do not get a rebuke. Smyrna is one, and the Church of Philadelphia is one. Why is that? Well, let's look. To the messenger of the church in Smyrna write, the first and the last, who was dead and has come to life, says this. Now, you'll know why he brings that up when you hear what's going on there. He emphasizes that if you die, never really die, because you come back to life. You're going to be in the resurrection. So he says, remember, I went through suffering, and I was brought back to life. Now, here's what he says. I know your tribulation and your poverty, but you're rich. And the blasphemy of those who say they're Jews,